Hey honey bunnies, it's me again with another YouTube channel video. This one is going to be about being evil because it's in all of us. Whether or not you want to deny it or not, it's in there. And most people suppress it. You're supposed to suppress it, integrate it, acknowledge it, but don't try to hide it and pretend you don't have it because you do.
You do.
But the point I want to make in this video is that you're not inherently evil, you're just evil when you're bored and disconnected. Boredom and disconnection literally create the perfect conditions for your worst impulses to take over. Because what happens when the mind is bored for too long is that boredom creates space, and that space, it just leaves room for old memories or old shame, old anger, regret, embarrassing stories. Like, it all just festers and it resurfaces. And when all those things you've been avoiding suddenly have room to speak, most people will immediately reach for distractions because sitting with those feelings is uncomfortable. But of course, the problem itself isn't that those feelings exist. The problem is that, because feelings are meant to be felt, the problem is that you're using your energy trying to escape them. And when you try to run from them, like, it'll literally like dysregulate your nervous system, one, and it'll feel like you're in fight or flight mode, like you're literally being hunted by your shadow, because that's essentially what it is. But people create problems when they're bored because humans need stimulation. Like, it's human nature to want to be entertained in a way. And when we don't have meaningful challenges, we often create meaningless ones. Some people text their exes, they know they shouldn't text, they start arguments, they stir up drama, they just gossip, and sometimes negative attention feels better than nothing at all. And that conflict that you're seeking becomes your entertainment, and that drama becomes a hobby, and eventually like that chaos in your life starts to feel like connection, and that's what you're really longing for. For me, it was definitely during COVID that I was probably the most disconnected from like myself and my body. Like, I completely stopped caring about my environment. Like, I like abandoned my vessel, or like my body, because I was almost completely living in my imagination or just like avoiding reality. And like, I stopped taking care of my body, I completely neglected my mental health, and I just became so isolated from real world consequences in a way. And I think that's how everybody was. Like, that's how everyone, I don't know, after like post COVID, a lot of people like social skills like diminished and stuff, and a lot of people didn't really know how to like socialize, but also like be or communicate in a way that wasn't like very internet, or I don't even know if that makes sense. But for me in particular, at one point I was running like this shade room gossip account for this random ass high school in Florida, and literally it wasn't just me. Like, I was in like a group chat with other people who had shade rooms for that school too. I don't even remember the name. It was something like Fort Wayne or I don't even know. But yeah, their mascot was like a blue wolf. I remember that. But like, I was just so like disconnected from real world consequences and just like compassion and empathy in a way, that the people involved stopped feeling like people, and they started to feel more like abstract concept. Like, they became stories, content, characters. Like, of course you live and you learn, and I was just a teenager that was stuck in my room. Of course, like, I'm sure that probably like that was obviously like very, very bad karma. Like, never do that. That was very like, don't interfere with people's lives for entertainment, obviously. But that's what disconnection does. It turns people into concepts instead of people. And of course, at this time I was very aimless and lacking purpose and lacking identity, and I was just I was figuring myself out. It was COVID, it was quarantine, so was everybody else, so I'm not really gonna like dwell on it too much or anything. But I think a lack of purpose makes people so destructive because that energy has to go somewhere. And like I said earlier, like, if you don't have anything meaningful that's demanding your attention, like, you look somewhere else. But that's also why so many adults, or so many people in like their early adult years, like, never really leave behind like the social dynamics of high school. Like, they're mentally still in high school, and with like status, comparison, drama, gossip, conflict, like, these become substitutes for purpose. But purpose gives your energy direction, and without direction, that energy, it just turns into resentment, obsession, envy, or destruction, and it just like ultimately doesn't really get you anywhere. But what brought me back to empathy was unironically solitude, and also just like a really crazy spiritual psychosis, but that's like a whole other video. But not distraction, not validation, not attention, just solitude, just like isolation, being able to sit with my own thoughts and feelings and just like kind of do an audit of like my values and my life and just like what I want and like just what I want to offer the world. But being alone and being isolated just forced me to confront myself, and I just learned how to understand my own shadow instead of projecting it onto other people. And the more I understood myself, the easier it became to understand everyone else around me, because you can only know someone as deep as you know them yourself. And being alone or just being isolated, it gives you like a very low bullshit tolerance, because when you reconnect with yourself, you also reconnect with your humanity, and you stop seeing life as something that's happening to you, and you start seeing it as something that you're participating in. But the question I want to leave you all with is not whether or not you're a good person or a bad person. It is, who are you when nobody needs anything from you? That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for giving me your attention. I'm gonna post this probably the same day I made it. Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your patronage.